In this video, you are going to learn incremental budgeting. Let's start the video. Incremental budgeting is an important part in management accounting. It involves changing an existing budget to have a new budget. Incremental budgeting is a budgeting process that is based on the idea that a new budget can be developed by making only some marginal changes to the present budget. With incremental budgeting, we use the present budget as a base to which incremental assumptions are added or deducted from the base amounts, to fix new budget amounts. Management goes for this type of budgeting if it does not require too much time on preparing budgets. Also, businesses go for this approach if they don't need to carry thorough reassessment of the operations. Now come to incremental budgeting process. Incremental budgeting allows you to use the past year's evaluations to the estimated base for the present financial year. The next step is to check for any increase or decrease from the past year and accumulate for the upcoming year. This incremental budget model works well for broad organizations, since they have funds allocated and experience minor fluctuations. The best incremental budgeting example would be educational institutes and organizations, because of their long-term funded projects. What are the advantages of incremental budgeting? Number 1. Incremental budgeting is the most simple budgeting approach. Since it uses the budget for the ongoing period, to project the upcoming budget, it does not require difficult calculations. 2. It is easy to implement. You do not have to send your department managers to any special training in order to use this budgeting system. 3. Using this budgeting system, we can see quickly the impact of change. 4. The dependence on the figures from the previous budgets assures the budgets remain fairly consistent and relatively stable over upcoming periods. 5. Incremental budgeting can help to ensure that funding remains stable over time, as values are relatively easy to project. This can be useful for companies with projects that involve funding for several years. Let's move on to the disadvantages of incremental budgeting. Number 1. It considers only negligible changes from the previous period, when there are significant structural changes in the business or changes in its environment, that call for much more important budget alterations. 2. Incremental budgeting does not support risk-taking. Since an incremental budget allocates most funds to the same users each year, it is hard to get a huge funding allocation to direct at a new activity. 3. If the past budget allocates a specific sum to a particular business unit, then the new budget will also grant funds to the same unit, even if the unit doesn't need it or needs a minor amount. 4. Since new budgets are based on characters from past budgets, there is little room for the financing on a completely new ideas or exercises. Thus, the incremental budgeting process discourages innovation. If you want to download the PDF, go through the link in the description. Like, share and please subscribe to my channel.